Hey guys, give me just a second. My webcam chose the worst fucking time to die on me, and I need to see if I can resuscitate it. Okay, so my webcam is just straight up not working. Like, I have changed what ports it is plugged into, and my computer is only recognizing its audio. I think the video on it has just finally killed out. Which I guess I shouldn't be surprised with how often I've been having to reset it. So give me a second to jury rig up my phone into being my face tracking. I don't really have anything to properly mount my phone yet. I keep forgetting to buy the damn ring light that you guys paid for on Throne, which actually has a phone mount. I guess I didn't need to really wait for an iPhone on that. I could have just used my own phone. Would it be as good, but it'd be something. So let me change. Let me set up my VC face real quick to take data from the VTuber Plus on or not VTuber Plus, the VTube Studio on my phone. If I can just remember how to do that. Boop. How do I? Well, I gotta remember how to do this. And yeah, I'm familiar with recursive maintenance, but that ain't saving my soul today, unfortunately. So let me see. If I can get this to connect. All right, there we go. There we go. It's probably going to be a little bit wonky. But I've been wanting to switch over to an iPhone soon anyway because iPhones have really good face tracking. So I'm going to buy an old used iPhone once I am able to afford to do so. I don't really have a way to. I guess I'm just holding my phone all stream. I guess I'm just gonna hold my phone all stream. Hold on, let me fucking get my bangs out of my face. Fucking stop. Yes, I see streaming mode is on. I want my settings. Can I get? Hold on, I'm working on it, Chad. I'm working on it. Like, this should have facial expression recognition, right? No, am I just gonna be blank faced this entire time? Am I just going to have to be blank faced this entire damn time? Okay, yeah, so this is not a very. Why the hell is VTuber Plus, is VTube Studio not able to do facial expressions? Is that supposed to be like its whole thing? God, I hate it here. I hate it here so fucking much. Like, I am moving my eyebrows wildly, and it's just not picking it up. Maybe it's because of the model that I have loaded on it. I have no idea. Chat, I am mildly upset. This is a dispatch? No, because today's Valentine's Day. But I'm having some massive technical difficulties. So I'm trying to figure out how to make my phone work as my webcam. But I said Saturday. I forgot it was Valentine's Day. I gotta figure out how the fuck I'm gonna like. I guess I'm just holding my phone all stream. I hate this. I fucking hate this. I don't recall saying Saturday, to be honest. But then again, I don't remember most things I say.
Not. All right, Nicole, you get some good rest. You take care. I hope you feel better soon. And now I'm on fire. I can't even properly express the excruciating pain that I'm in because this thing apparently the fucking VTube app that everybody uses can't recognize facial expressions. I don't know if I need to calibrate that on VC faces in or what. This is very upsetting. This is deeply upsetting. I'm gonna be honest with y'all, chat. Okay, I'm not holding this thing for the fucking 4 hours I stream. Where the hell do I fucking where the hell how am I gonna mount this? I have nothing to mount this on. What I put on the right now? I don't know. I'm just gonna get the first one that has the software that all the VTubers use in it. Well, I have some empty root beer cans I never got around to throwing away. Can I just plop this on there? They're empty root beer cans.
That ain't gonna work. This is deeply upsetting. This is very deeply upsetting. You were literally working yesterday. Like, what is your fuck ass problem? It may be that I need to recalibrate my facial expressions in VTuber Plus for this. Let's go for the simple. Nope, still not working. It's just not getting the facial expressions at all. I hate it here. Everything is awful. Everything fucking sucks right now. I'm gonna lose my mind. The shit doesn't work. Never will think for the hit pants. How do the 2D VTubers do their facial expressions? Because I'm not seeing anything on here for facial expressions. And I know most of these VTubers are doing this shit on their phone. Are we just going to do a troubleshooting stream for Valentine's Day today? Is that what we're going to be doing? Is that what we're going to be doing? Do I still have VTube Studio on my computer? You know what? Fuck it. Fuck it. Fuck it. We ball. We ball. We ball. Why is everyone asking me to guess what today? Anyway, happy Valentine's Day, chat. I got you Scuff. I got you Scuff. I hope you like it. Technology has a love-hate relationship with me, don't it? Yep. Right. Nail on the head. Nail on the head. All right, chat. I have a dumb idea. I have the cup. I just pulled it up from my trash can because it's clean. I have the cup that my sweet tea came in from the barbecue place yesterday. It's a styrofoam cup. So, like, what if I just... Holy shit, that worked! That's a very awkward angle for it to try and record from, but it fucking worked. I need you. So my phone is currently plugged into my laptop, or not my laptop, to my computer through the USB cord so that we stay charged. And I have it sitting inside of a styrofoam cup. The cord coming wrapped around it up the top to give some semblance of a mount for this. It's a kind of small styrofoam cup, actually. So let me tweak some settings right quick on this. Oh, can I keep my body a little more not flapping all over the place? Because right now I'm kind of flapping all over the place. No, no, just go fuck myself on that, I guess. Oh, shit, 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 shit. All right, I do have to partially prop it with with my keyboard. Gonna disable avatar locomotion so I'm not flip flopping around so much. Okay, I won't have any proper facial expressions, unfortunately, and I can't have my. I don't even know where my hand. I lost my hand tracking again, chat. I lost my hand tracking again. But we're going to go purely off of the most basic of basic ass body language. How am I losing that so often? Because I keep unplugging it to charge my phone or charge my headphones. And then sometimes it just doesn't stay on the desk. Ow. But fuck it, I've tried my best to salvage this. I've tried my best and I have failed. So I'm just gonna get some music playing right quick. I forgot I changed how my audio. Oh, I'm just gonna add fucking desktop output capture. All right. Let me tweak that filter a little bit. That should be fine. All right, chat. Well, I was trying to be all cool and seductive with stream today, but that's gone out the fucking window. I can't even give y'all eyebrows, so fuck it, we ball. As y'all see, today we are doing a tier list of one of those manga tags. You know, just some very, wholesome romantic tags, you know? Very wholesome, very romantic. Lots of hugging and kissing. And we are going to sort these into a tier list. I definitely did not just decide I was going to do this for Valentine's Day about an hour before stream or anything. Nope, definitely planned this out. All right. So we are going to start with probably the most basic of these, the Ahego. And I think I am going to surprise some of y'all with how low this goes on the ranking. But I'll be honest, like a little light Ahego I can work with. I've actually got that with some of my it's some of the arts I've gotten with my various friends. But I've also seen a lot of them that are just really, really bad. Just completely takes me out of it. It's just too egregious. Also, for all of y'all who are posting your Ahegos online, it doesn't work in real life. It looks weird as fuck. You don't look hot. You look like you need medical attention. Alien, love it. Whether it's like, you know, aliens fucking human chicks or humans fucking aliens, I love it. Aliens are big. There's so much you could do with aliens. With you know, romance. We're talking about romance mangas, chat. Let me actually add a text thing because I'm feeling a little self-conscious about my tracking right now. Let's forgive. More tracking. Webcam broke. There we go. Yeah, they're gonna put that in love. For obvious reasons. Angels. Chat, would any of you be surprised if I said I really enjoy a good corruption arc? Also, wings. Wings are pretty peak. I like wings. Corruption and wings. That puts angels pretty high up for me. Apron, no difference to me. I've seen Naked Apron, and yeah, it can be hot, but like not in a particular, like, oh man, baby apron, like I don't go crazy when I see a chick in an apron. I maybe I'm not as down bad for MILF types as I thought I was. You know? Saki, don't you worry. Like, when I'm talking apron, I'm talking like the generic apron, not the maid apron. In fact, you know what? Saki, just for you, we're gonna skip ahead real quick. Because y'all know I love my maids. The best part about me, about, like, attracting women who are usually into anime and stuff is a lot of them are not only willing to put on the maid costume, a lot of them bring their own maid costume. Like, listen, my greatest achievement as a VTuber was when I hooked up with someone I met through streaming, and she put on the maid costume during. I got to live my I even posted on Twitter. It's like, finally lived out the dream. And I just posted a gif of a train running through a tunnel and then a picture of a maid costume. Hey, not a big fan of incest. I know that may be surprising to a lot of you who only know that I'm from Alabama. You would think being from Bama, I'd be like at least indifferent, but no, I hate it. I hate it. It's weird. I've always had like a very close connection with my family, so I get the whole taboo element to it. I feel like that appeals mostly to people that haven't really had familial connections. Like, I feel like people who are into incest fantasies are usually people that do not really have, like, in their life, especially growing up, people in that role. Whether it's like siblings or I feel like that's why sibling incest is so common in anime stuff, is because most people in Japan are only children. So they just like wind up fetishizing the relationships. Yeah. Pretty much any of the incest stuff we encounter, that's going into hate. That's going into hate. Even like the step family things, like I make the jokes like, "Oh no, stepbrother, help!" Or well, I could be your stepdaddy. But actually, I kind of hate it when they focus on that. Like, I can put up with it if the content is otherwise hot, but when they focus on it, it's like, ugh, ugh, ugh. One time was kind of funny that wasn't actual incest. Mid, Bobby Hillbilly marrying Hillbilly cousin Yomi. I fucking love King of the Hill. Bald. Again, no difference to me. I presume they're talking about the head. I assume, you know what? There's actually a wiki this thing linked. Let me search bald and make sure it's actually talking about. All right, it's gonna be really hard to type. Okay, yeah, it is for people without hair on their head. So yeah, nah, don't care. Makes no difference to me one way or the other. I believe this is meant to be Big Beautiful Woman. I'm gonna put this in depends on how it's executed. Above Ahego. Because I do like my women thick. And when they draw thick people with like actually having roles, peak. But there is a limit, I am afraid to admit, to being a little shallow. There are limits to how big and beautiful I like my women. Granted, personality can play a heavy role into that, but as far as like like me just looking at it and be like, oh, Wooga, without any context of them as a person, it depends. It depends on where it's distributed. But I do kind of hate when people like, oh, look at this character, they're so thick, and it's like they're like stick thin, but with huge tits and maybe a big ass. Like, nah, man, nah. Like, I need some meat on them bones, fam. That ain't thick. All right, she's gotta have some rolls in the mid. Beauty mark, I like it. It adds a cute little How do I? It can add a cute little detail. I like beauty marks. All right, let me make sure of something real quick. Let me go back down to the M's. All right, yeah, bestiality. I do not like this. I will admit I have encountered a couple of things that are like really ridiculous and over the top with it, and it's like, okay, this doesn't really register as being, what it is. But for the most part, yeah, I am not a fan. Not a fan. The only reason this is not in hate is because the examples I've usually seen are usually like very far removed from reality. If you were to like go farther into like less how do I word this? If the work was depicting it in a more closer to reality way, that would be in hate. The ones that I have stumbled across are a little less removed from reality, or a little more removed from reality, which kind of makes it not register as much, but I still don't like it. Still do not like it whatsoever. On the other side of the coin, the reason why I scrolled down to check before I did that was because we do have Monster. I love me some monster fucking. Some monster romancing. These are romance tags, Jack, because it's Valentine's Day. I do love me some monster, you know, whether or not, you know, the monster is catching or pitching. Big fan, big fan. Like, I used to have a monster persona that I used. Some rule changes on a certain site kind of killed my interest in that character, along with some things that happened in my personal life. But I'm thinking of resurrecting Ragtharix, my dragon OC. And he very much likes to pitch. Yeah, I feel like the reason why, like, even when the monsters are more like bestial, like the fact that it's a monster makes it register as pure fantasy. So, like, I feel like it's the same reason why a lot of lesbians are into monster romance, is it gives that dominant masculine energy, but while being removed from reality. But yeah, I feel like the company I've hung out with has not helped me with this. The amount of company I've hung out with that has liked me to roleplay as monsters has probably shifted my enjoyment. Big Areola? I guess depends on how it's executed. Like, typically, like, you know, I'm not usually bothered by the size of nipples, but I have seen some art that, like, makes them ridiculous, like, well beyond what a typical person would have. Like, I feel like any of you who have dived into off-brand romance art have definitely seen those artists that, like, make them about almost as big as, like, the entire front-facing circumference. You know? And I have never encountered anyone with a role is that big. It just doesn't look natural. So, like, it's... Honestly, I'm about to prefer not to have it. It can just take me right out of it when it just gets to too extreme. However, I do love a big ass. We do love a big ass here. Listen, chat. An interesting thing about a tiefling's other tail. They don't want none unless you got buns, hun. Big balls makes no difference to me. Big breasts. So I like big breasts. I don't like huge. Let me see. Do they have a one for, like, where they get just really huge? Yeah, they have a one where they can... Okay, I'm going to put big breasts in favorites. I do like big tickle bitties. Big balls, meh. Oh, that breaks my heart. Honestly, I should probably like big balls better, because... all I'm going to say is there's a reason why they called me Tanuki when I was stationed in Japan, okay? Let me just say, I do find it very easy to relate to characters that have big balls. I mean, I don't really think I've seen anything with, this as a tag. I don't know. I don't watch a whole lot of Null. I don't read a whole lot of Null stuff. I guess I'm just indifferent on it, because, like, I don't know. I've never, like, been taken out of her. So I've also never been like, oh, man, look how big that clit is. So... Big nipples, that's like in the same area as the big areola. Like, it's a bit ridiculous, and it kind of just takes me out of things. Chat, I like to be able to relate to the POV character, okay? Like, you know, it's the fantasy, you know, the fantasy of being able to just like absolutely tear a person up. But you know, they got the hentai physics, so the romance physics. They got the romance physics, so like, you know, they enjoy it. Emerald, you're breaking my heart here, darling. Well, it's like I know a lot of like women who like the idea of a really large penis in their fantasies, not so much in reality. You know? When we're talking within the context of these off-brand romance mangas, it's good for the fantasy. You know, just really fill someone up with that warm feeling of love inside, you know? Bike shorts, I guess I'll put it on like, I mean... Hold on. Short, elastic, skin-tight leg wear, worn more as an undergarment, designed to improve comfort while cycling. I mean, I guess I like it. That does sound appealing, but I'm not gonna go crazy over it. I do love a good bikini. Sometimes bikini is more alluring than nothing at all, you know? You know? I don't know, it speaks to, like, you know, more... I think it's mostly because the scenario tends to lead more into, like, fun, casual, sometimes maybe a little dangerous, you know, someplace kind of public, or meeting someplace public, and, you know, not being able to contain yourselves and having to go someplace more private for a romance. I am a fan of the bikini. All right, so let me double check how it made to... So, like, focusing on birth in a erotic way just... It sounds very, very uncomfortable. But let me check something real quick. Okay, we got impregnation. Yeah, birth itself... No. I don't need to see the birth. I do not need to see that. I definitely do not need to see that being eroticized. Like, cut to, like, you know, them with the child that was produced as a result of the romance. That is peak. When they cut to them, like, you know, with the being happily with the child they created, that's peak. I do not need to see the creation and the aftermath. I'm good with the actual production. No, I don't need to see that. We can skip that step. We can skip the step. I don't need to go that far into how it's made. I mean, bisexual. I mean, I guess to me, this is going to be depending on how it's executed. Because I'm going to break a lot of y'all's heart here in the chat. Because everyone keeps assuming I'm either like bi or pan. Because I'm pathetic and fruity. But chat, I am unfortunately a cishet male. So guy on guy doesn't really do anything for me. So Now, girl on girl, facilitating that. And I could see some scenarios where it's like, guy is into a guy, but the girl's in the middle of the, the love triangle is what we'll call it. That could work. See what will get up to their head, getting crushed and yelled at. What the heck are you talking about, Emerald? So chat, remember, we're talking within the context of fantasy. The fantasy of having complete control over somebody within the relations is, the taboo of it, the danger of it, especially if, like, the person being blackmailed finds themselves loving it and they hate the fact that they're loving it. You know? I don't know. I within the realm of fantasy, I find it very hot. And of course, that's gonna be the precedent. A lot of this is fantasy. A lot of this is stuff that I would find repulsive IRL. But when you just make it a pure fantasy, then things are different. You know what I mean? Like how I love zombie games. I love games where the fantasy is a zombie apocalypse. I do not want to live in an actual zombie apocalypse. Think of it like that. Blindfold. This is just great in real life. I put it in like it. Now, at least one of those guys, the gay guy ever talks to me, I'll punch him if you're talking about a girl is hot. I think girl on girl is hot. I think guy on guy is just as valid as any other combination. Love is love, attraction is attraction. So long as everyone involved is a consenting adult, I don't care. Same sex, opposite sex, poly, whatever. So long as everyone involved is consenting, is an adult, nobody's getting hurt, nobody's sneaking around behind anybody's back, then it's all a-okay to me, What works for me is not going to work for everybody else. And that's perfectly fine. Blood depends on how it's executed. I like drawing a little blood. I don't like a lot of blood. For those of you who saw, some of the art I've got, you'll see, sometimes I'll have, bleeding scratches or bite marks on one or both of us. But it's not much. It's just, a little bit of blood. Not, a lot of the stuff. There is a very thin line to where it goes from hot to disgusting or concerning. That line is very thin, but when you are on the right side of that line, it can be pretty hot. I hate bloomers. They feel very infantilizing to me, and I don't like that. Anything that is meant to, make a person come off in a more infantilized or childish way is going to be an automatic no-go for me. And it might be a... it might be a cultural thing. Maybe it's more so. Maybe it's not as associated with younger people in Asian cultures. I know that when I see them, it comes off as very infantilizing, and that usually just kind of ruins it for me. This, on the other hand, you would think with someone who is as into the fantasy of procreation as I am, blowjob wouldn't be very high, but listen, I've had a few friends who could suck a golf ball through a garden hose. It's given me a very, very strong appreciation for a good mouth present. God, I really hope my paw doesn't decide to check up on stream today. Oh, that would be tragic. The blowjob face, on the other hand, I don't know, when people try to like accurately depict, you know, that sucking face, yeah, not really a fan of like if the face that I'm thinking of that is usually in these arts, not really a fan of. You know, it makes him look like artillery. Like, hold on. So, like, when I see that face and these kinds of things, this is what I think of. This is what I think of. It's like, that bitch looks like artillery. She looks like she should be doing gunk shot instead of the guy, you know? So body mods, and I'm gonna check the wiki on this. And yeah, there's a whole wiki for this stuff that was linked onto this thing. So I guess, like, if it's like in the context of like, you know, like replacing body parts with like alien stuff or machinery or things like that, especially if it like just goes towards the dehumanization of one of the parties, towards the idea of them just being something to be used, that could be hot. But it's not like something I go absolutely crazy, go out of my way to look for. I do know a couple of VTubers who are specifically built around this, and they are really hot. So maybe I should move it up higher, but bodysuit, like it, shows off the body well. Body swap. I can see the scenario being pretty hot. So I'll put it like kind of high up in the body swap. Or that makes no difference to me, to where like it's almost in the realm of like it. I could see a cute story where like two people body swap and they wind up just like, you know, having romance with each other in each other's bodies. But it's not something that's like majorly appealing to me. Body riding, love it. Love it. Dabbled with this a little bit myself in real life. It's great. The thing is, like, it's usually used for degradation, which, don't get me wrong, is hot. But also, you know, you can use it a little bit for, like, writing praise onto somebody, which is also works out really well. Y'all know what I'm about. This, like, I could see, like, you know, if it's just like, oh, well, we're gonna, like, you know, take a character who's flat and have them, like, gain bigger breasts, like, within reason, and have them experience that. That's fine. But, like, What I usually see of this, it's way more extreme than that. And, it just seems uncomfortable. Breastfeeding, again, I'm not a fan of anything that involves infantilization. I want everyone within my romance mangas to be consenting adults, act as consenting adults, and be treated as consenting adults. Well, okay, let me rephrase that. Because within the fantasy, a lot of times, consent is dubious at best, and sometimes the consent is just explicitly not there, but it's fantasy. But I don't like the infantilization. So, I like everyone to be adults. Breath play, I've never really dabbled with breath play in real life. Like, I've done a lot of choking, but like, usually when you're choking in real life, you're just squeezing the blood vessels on the side of the neck. I don't think I've ever really like actively cut off somebody's breathing. I think I would be too scared to do that to somebody. But as far as fantasy, I mean, I like danger. What can I say? Bride, I mean, listen, it's love. Who's not gonna love love? Not your thing. Again, we are talking within the context of fantasy. Some of these things I would absolutely hate in real life, but they are great in fantasy. Like blackmail. Would despise that in real life. Could never do that in real life. But in the context of fantasy, brother, hey. Listen, Bible discussion study meetings are, you know, peak wholesome romance, you know? You know? Just getting together and, you know, tying each other down with the faith of the Lord. I got a lot of stuff in my closet for, Bible discussion study meetings. Now, I would say, typically, I put this in Love It. I'm typically not a fan of works where the guy... Yeah, I don't like super hardcore stuff, so I guess actually, depends on how it's executed. When it's too extreme, like it looks like it's going to cause some actual damage, I don't like it. I'm not usually a fan when the guy is the one being, you know, Bible studied. But lighter BDSM, and usually when it's the female being the submissive one, peak. Adore it. Love it. Buckets. Gotta make sure the homies stay hydrated, you know? Gotta make sure the homies stay hydrated. Alright, so I'll put this, it says buddy girl / boy. I mean, y'all know I'm straight, so we're gonna be doing this within the context of, buddy girls. I don't know, maybe it's just because I've been conditioned. Like, you know, from a pretty young age, we've been conditioned with the Playboy buddy aesthetic. But I love it. I love it. Had a girl who brought her own bodysuit over to a meeting once. That was lovely. Fantastic. She was a very good girl. Business suits on women are so hot. And I don't know why, chat. I don't know why. But there is something about a woman in a business suit that just gets my tractor running. And I'm not talking like, you know, like the typical women's female attire. I'm talking like the full-on kind of business suit you usually see on a man, but a woman is wearing it. Like the female business attire is also kind of hot. But when she's in a full suit, just I don't know, something about it just complements the female form very, very perfectly to me. When it's on guys, I don't care. Those aren't my focus. So we're gonna get from the point of view of a straight guy. So we're talking about on a woman. I think I'd actually like business suits. Also, it's just because like the business suit, I feel like gives a lot of opportunities. Because, you know, usually they're buttoned down, so you can just pull that open. Have the jacket like spread open for like that, you know, sense of really just throwing yourselves into it. Cat girls, love them. I know, it's basic bitch shit. I love them. I got a soft spot for tails on otherwise humanoid women. Not to mention all the lines you can make about milk and treats and all that. And collars and leashes. So, computerized basic training. I always hated this. Like, I always hated when I'd be at work and be like, hey, Sergeant Taftner, your computerized basic trainings are coming up due. And it's like, I got 15 of the fucking things, and they all got long-ass videos that I cannot skip through. Fucking hate them. Fucking hate them. I'd rather deal with cock and ball torture. Sense of art, disgust. Hate. 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 Why? Why? Cervix penetration. So, I guess I'll put this as a prefer not to have it, but it's fine because usually within the context of the fantasy stuff, they treat it as like something pleasurable. But knowing like that would actually be like the most painful fucking thing in real life kind of takes me out of it a bit. But it's so fucking common, I feel like I've been desensitized to it. So it's like, I would prefer that it not be there because it's just so ridiculous, but it's not going to take me out of the fantasy. Chassis belt, I don't like this. I could see something kind of hot being done with it, but overall, eh. Like, I'm here for something in particular. Why are you blocking me from it? I mean, maybe getting rid of that thing be part of the plot could work for the romance, but for the most part, it's like, why? Cheating. I would be lying if I said I haven't read a few romance stories where the characters are cheating and I've not enjoyed it. I don't enjoy it for the cheating. So I'll put it in the prefer not to have it, but it's fine if it does. Especially if it's not like the massive focus on the whole thing. I guess the taboo aspect of it's a little hot, but I don't usually like the fantasy of like having someone cheat on someone with me. Which I guess is kind of ironic considering how many people in like committed relationships I've been with. But those were always with the significant other's like knowledge and permission. So that doesn't really count. And I usually don't, you know, bring up that other person during, you know, during actual romantic activities, that other person doesn't exist. Cheerleaders, I like it. I never got super into it, but I've definitely seen some really hot cheerleader stuff. At the very least, they're usually really fit, and cheerleader outfits are cute, but it's not something I go out of my way for. The fuck is chicken? Chicken? Are we fucking chickens? The damn fucking Five Nights at Freddy's fandom found their way here. Description. The act of fondling or touching another person in a sexual manner, rarely consensual, and often takes place on a train or a bus. Remember, chat, we're talking fantasy. We're talking within the realm of fantasy. All right? You know, a little bit of a forcefulness in the setup can be pretty alluring. Chinese dresses, those are cute. I'll put them in, I like them. I'm gonna put this low on the like it. I usually prefer if the story is going in that direction with the fantasy, then it's usually more so about like an overwhelming difference in power, but I can work with this. But like again, you have to be like kind of far removed from reality with your depiction of these sort of things for the fantasy, you know? I don't know why Christmas is a tag here. I mean, I guess... I mean... I guess girls in, like, those little Santa outfit dresses are pretty cute. Listen. There is nothing more romantic... There's nothing more romantic than just like absolutely putting a very right there in center depiction of this person belongs to me. They are mine. I see that piqued up your interest, Saki. Comedy. Listen, chat, if y'all can make me laugh, you have the Disney Fast Pass to the inside of, to getting into my pants. Like, there is nothing more sexy than a sense of humor. Other than big tits and thick thighs. And being submissive and breedable. But other than that, nothing hotter. I suppose condom can work if, like, you know, someone is using it after the fact for a little treat. But for the most part, don't want it. Don't want it. Like, listen, we are here to be as filthy and dirty to each other as possible. You know, very primal. And I mean, also, okay, listen, we're just gonna go ahead and, because you got, okay, first of all, I already see this. This is going in hate. Absolutely despise. But I feel like this is going to put a good context in a lot of what I choose. I mean, really, when you think about it, the primary purpose of romance is to create, you know, the scenario for the passing on of your genetic material, you know? You know? like I don't usually like pregnancy within the story, but I do like the story. I do like when the story is ended with the confirmation of, yeah, that bitch pregnant. Corsets, no difference to me, I guess. Cosplaying, yeah, I like it. I prefer, no, this is for the mangas. I love cosplaying IRL, but like when it comes to the manga, like, I mean, like usually I'm already here for like fantasy. So like, why are you doing a fantasy within the fantasy? But I can see that being kind of hot sometimes. So cosplaying within the context of the manga is pretty good, I guess. Cause it. Cowgirl. Now I don't know if this is meaning within the context of like, you know, the person being a cowgirl, or if it's within the context of the person in the position, but either way it doesn't make a difference. I like the big hat. Why here, Jojo? Because I have the Bardcore playlist going, that's why. Cross-dressing, I guess it depends on how it's executed. I guess it really just makes no difference to me, honestly. I mean, sometimes, you know, women wearing what traditionally male clothes is hot, but that would just fall under the tomboy tag. Like, I guess I'll put it on depend how it's executed, because a lot of time that's used for, like, the whole, like, femboy or trap type thing, which is not, you know, I'm not a big fan of the trap deal, but if it's, like, genuine, I don't know, I could see it working. But now, ultimately, it makes no difference to me. I don't particularly care. Alright, so that's crotch tattoo. Let me see real quick. See, elemental, PQRS, TUV. All right, so they don't have a separate one for womb tattoo, so I guess that's what crotch tattoo is gonna be. Love it. Listen, we love a good womb tattoo, okay? Can't explain why. Potter girl wearing her boyfriend meant to be just, I don't know. Usually when I hear cross-dressing, it's specifically someone like trying to dress up as much and present as the opposite gender as possible. Usually men dressing as women. And like usually like where you're having like women in male clothes, they usually put that down as like tomboy. And I do like the tomboy aesthetic. Cunnilingus, love it. Listen, if you're going to ask for this from your girl, you better be giving her this in return. All right? We don't like cowards in this tavern. We all go on a deep dive around here. See, Dad. Dandere. Nothing comes up without. Oh, which one is Dandere? There's a lot of Deres. Dandere is a term for a character who is silent and expressionless most of the time. They will suddenly become cute, affectionate, and dere when they are alone with their love interest. I do love shy girls. Listen, there's just something about taking a shy woman and, like, you know, really just cracking her open. Dark skin. Love it. Especially when it's in the context of, like, inhuman dark skin. Like, you know, like dark elves type shit. Like, human dark skin's great too. But inhumanly dark skin. That is peak. That is peak. There's a lot of examples I could bring up. All of them will get me banned off Twitch. I'm already risking myself on YouTube with this. I probably shouldn't be dual streaming this to YouTube. God, these just keep getting worse and worse and worse. Listen. How do I say this without getting banned off of Twitch? You know what? Hold on. We're marking this as sexual themes. We're marking this stream as sexual themes. All right. Listen. Listen. I want her to struggle to breathe, and I want her to be a trooper about it. I want her to be risking life itself to gobble more and more of it, all right? Defloration. I know this is like such a guy thing. Like, this is very much like, I feel like this very much comes from like the heteronormative patriarchy shit, but I love the idea of popping a cherry. Like, low-key, one of my biggest fantasies has been to take a fangirl's, you know, deflower a fangirl. The only problem with that is, it'd have to be somebody older who completely understands the connotation and significance, you know? Saki. What are you leaving for, Saki? But I don't know. I think it's just because I've always been like conditioned to, like, you know, the first time is something special. And being a part of someone's first time, even like if you're not really romantic, there's like being a part of somebody's, like, something so special in someone's life. Especially if you can make sure that it's a very good experience for the both of you, but especially for the person who's doing it for the first time. That is very appealing. And the great thing within, like, you know, fantasy is you don't have to worry about moral implications. Because when you get to my age, you have to worry about moral implications. Love me a demon girl. Y'all saw how I got over the demon girl in Dispatch. I don't think I need to explain anything more. Once again, I hate anything that is like... anything that is just like infantilizing. And also, that's just gross. That's just gross. Dicker, we're gonna put how it's executed. Dick girl, girl is hot. I'm going to assume that by dick girl they also refer to like pre-ops trans women. I'm down with that. I'm fine with that. But like when the focus is on the dick, especially like when it's guy on girl, it's tragically a straight man, so. But it's got potential, and it doesn't bother me if the female in a straight piece is a trans woman. So I'm gonna put it depends how it's executed, because I feel like it would like really fetishize it, and if you're going to the point of fetishizing that, then it's gonna like lose my interest. But other than that, same with dick growth. Like, I could definitely see, like, for the fantasy, like, just it getting really big. And, like, turning the scenario and all that, but not, I don't know, again, it usually winds up, like, going to an extreme. I feel like I could deal with extreme pee-pee a lot better than I could deal with extreme breast. But even then, to an extent. We love puppy girls. We don't like puppies, but we like puppy girls in this tavern. No puppies. Yes, puppy girls. Domination loss. I do enjoy some domination loss. Just like turning the table, like especially like when it's a guy turning the table on a dominant woman. But even though I typically prefer to be, dominant, I have seen some pretty interesting ones where like the woman taking control. There's this one animation from Derpexion where like, some demon woman takes, is like gonna kill some guy using it and all that, and then he turns the situation around and basically just fucks like his life depends on it, because it is, and like takes complete control for a bit there, but then slowly she takes back control, and it's really hot. I'm gonna put this in prefer not to have it, because I'll be entirely honest with you, that just seems painful. That just seems painful. However, with other holes, now this is gonna be kind of ironic, because realistically, I know that you can actually stretch the anus to better accommodate double. So it would probably be less painful with some practice. But if they're both going to the same hole, I usually prefer the pink. Two in the pink, one in the stick. Drugs, again, it depends on how it's executed for me. Because, like, if you keep it far removed from reality, then that can work with, like, a lot of the stuff in this where the fantasy does not involve consent. But I'm definitely going to put it depending on how it's executed, because when you get drugs involved in these kind of things, you can make things uncomfortably real. I mean, we all know about Emergence. Like, this just has too much of a potential to become really uncomfortable and, like, realistically bad. Like, if it's removed from reality, like, when it's like, oh, you know, we drug this person and it makes them super horny. That's hot. Even like a thing where it's like, oh, you know, we put them in a situation where they can't really, you know, consent or fight back. Again, when you're keeping it far removed from reality for the fantasy, that can work. But it is a far more precarious act to balance. Drunk. Same deal, but it's a little easier to just do it within the fantasy of dubious consent versus just uncomfortable situation. Like, this is a case like I have made it very clear with certain partners who like to partake in alcohol or like weed or stuff like that, where like when we're talking and flirting and getting all that, I make it very clear to them, hey, we have not gone over a certain boundary yet. Unless while you are sober, you specifically tell me that you know, want me to go along with whatever you request while under the influence, I'm going to deny you if you try and go beyond a stage we've already been to while under the influence of something. Like, but like, when it's within fantasy, again, when it's within fantasy, that's fine. Eggs. I feel like this is something that appeals more to women. I feel like women tend to be more, what's the word? More into the omni-positioning thing. I could deal with it, I guess, but I'm not usually a fan. All right, so I'm a little torn when it comes to elves. Like laying an egg. Typically, it's having an egg laid inside you, or inside you know, usually a woman. So I'm going to put elf in the like it category with the caveat of, you know, elves are kind of like basic. However, they tend to be hoity and toity. So when the focus is on the elf being knocked down several pegs, especially by, say, like humans or dwarves or orcs, and really put it to their place, Emotionless sex. There was actually a weird period where I was pretty into this, but now, I mean, I guess it can kind of work in the context of like free use stuff. But I usually like the person to like be reacting to it, usually enjoying it or being overwhelmed by it, but like having some sort of reaction. Disgusting. Is it really any surprise to anyone that I, the streamer, love the idea of being the center of attention? Yeah, checking physical guys do not show much. Okay, but let me ask you this, Emerald. If you were to be having romantic relations with one of those guys who don't show much emotion, wouldn't you much prefer that they actually do show some emotion during y'all's private romantic situation? Hmm? Hmm? What does it mean by eye mask? Cover the area of eyes, which will leave the rest of the face exposed. Kind of like blindfold, I guess. Unless they're talking like superhero eye mask. I feel like a superhero eye mask kind of works too for a little bit of that dehumanization. Eye patch makes a difference to me. I've seen some appealing character designs with eye patches, but it's not usually because of the eye patch that I'm into them, you know? Face sitting. Chat, I'm gonna tell you this right now. If any of you are ever lucky enough to receive a ticket to the mustache ride, I live with the motto of, if I die, I die. This is just weird. Like, I want to hate it more than the incest stuff, but honestly, it's just fucking weird, dude. Like, at least this stuff, you can kind of ignore that part of the story, just appreciate the art. But this is just fucking gross and weird, dude. I'm not usually big into femdom, but like I can work with gentle femdom. I don't know. Sometimes it's nice to have someone who's just like very direct about what they want, you know? Feminization. I have been getting a lot of feminization stuff on my Blue Sky feed lately because I follow so many trans VTubers who keep retweeting art of guys getting turned into bimbo women. I'm gonna put it depends on how it's executed. The idea of forced feminization doesn't really appeal to me. But when the person who was getting feminized is like actually really happy about it and enjoying it, then there's some appeal to there. I can see that. Plus, if they get turned into a hot woman, then, you know, I mean, it's a hot woman. What do I care? No surprise, huh? I feel like every guy is into that. Like, I think it'd be hard pressed to find a guy who... Hold on, this song is fucking up. Or maybe that was my headset. But I feel like you're gonna be hard pressed to find a guy who would say no to a female male three-way relationship. You watch an anime where a character did force feminize and put a transphobic, allegedly strong man in his place. I can work with that. I can work with a parable, but we're talking within the context of off-brand romance mangas. But y'all probably not be surprised considering my ranking of the DP. That I'm also a pretty big fan of the MMF as well. Honestly, now that I think about it though, like, I have DP up higher than MMF. Don't usually see DP with toys, but plugs. Is the music having like a lot of weird like scratching noises to you guys? Or is my headset fucking up? Feel like, I mean, this just kind of goes to the exhibitionism. Like, I was supposed to film some stuff at one point, but plans fell through. We like some good prep work, you know? We like some good prep work. Fishnets, love it. Don't ask me what it is about fishnets that's so appealing. Maybe it's just the fact that I can stick my fingers in it and rip it open. Maybe it's just like the way it really like pushes out the skin flesh a bit to accentuate the meat. What was that for? Also, Saki, can you do me a favor? I keep hearing like some like messing up noises in the music. Are y'all hearing that too, or is that my headset? Or is it like a like a little buzz in there? Not hearing it right now, but it keeps happening. Like right there. Like, are y'all hearing that? You know, I did move. Hold on. I'm not gonna be able to hear anything for a little bit. Moving my headphone back to its original plug. Yeah, so my guess is that it was my headphones being plugged into the wrong port. Because I was moving things around trying to make the webcam work. So I remember the time Hank Hill and Peggy saw a camera at Boomhauer's house. He's at the foot of the bed and goes, well, this is Hank Hill with the news. And Peggy goes, oh, Hank, you are terrible. Yeah, so I think it was just my headset not liking the port it was in. I love how innocent Hank and the others are. Or Hank and Peggy are. I don't think I've ever really... Like, I joke about fisting. I don't think I've ever found myself actually enjoying fisting. Like, I don't know, man. I just think it's painful and exhausting. Footplate, definitely do not like this. Fox girl, listen. We got fox girls in our community. Y'all know how I feel about them. In fact, I would say that fox girls rank up higher than cat girls. I love the fluffy tail. Freckles? I like freckles. Freckles are cute. Oh, yeah, no. Fisto. Listen, we love Fisto. Fisto's the exception. What the fuck is frottage? Every time I encounter a term on here I don't know, I am terrified to look it up because usually I don't know it because it's some horrific shit. Saki, you have appeals far beyond just being a cat girl. The rubbing of two or more penises against one another. Would y'all be surprised to find out that I've done this before? Still, not really something I'm particularly looking for within this sort of thing. I could see it working with like a trans character. Thought Frotto was helping someone you're both dressed? Nope. Like, I've done this with a trans partner before. As like foreplay. But I just don't see this working for me at all within the context of a fantasy. Full censorship? Get that shit out of here. What the fuck is wrong with you? Full color, on the other hand. We love full color manga. Futanari. So here's my thing with the Futanari. Because from what I understand, Futanari is considered separate from trans. Are present with both a penis and a vagina. I guess I'll just put it on depends. Like, I've seen some interesting art with, like, magic, where, like, one female character uses magic to give herself a thing, but then someone else, you know, goes with her original equipment while she still has the thing as well. But I feel like part of what has me kind of against it a little bit is just I've seen Fuda be used like in a bit of a transphobic way too often, so I'm a bit like iffy on it. And again, I'm not a big fan of penis, and usually if you have a female character with a penis, the focus is on the penis. And I am tragically straight. A gag. All right, let me make sure, like, is this talking gag as in they're gagged, or gag as in something's making them gag? All right, they're gagged. Nothing further to be said. Yeah, I've seen this done to too much of an extreme. But when done well, when done within limits, can be rather, you know, observing the damage you've done, the mess you've made, appealing in that sort of a way. You know what? I have a friend who looks really good in garter belts. And I think that right there just kind of put garter belts within love it for me. Especially like when it's on a thicker woman with thick thighs. Gender bender. How is this? I mean, I guess it's just different, the same as like feminizing, but same shtick. Ghosts. Listen, chat. I'm a big fan of the idea of a boo job. Also, just like the whole being able to go incorporeal thing and not having to breathe thing. There's a lot of potential there. With this, it comes down to depends on how it's executed. I've seen some like really weird, like giant, like where the thing is focused on just like getting crushed underneath a giant person. I just find that kind of weird. But also, like, you know, giant guy using a girl, or you know, a guy just putting his whole body into pleasing a big woman. Like, within reason. When you get to a certain size, it just gets weird. So, but that depends on how it's executed. Glass. I am pretty certain the moment that made me fall in love with my ex is when she told me she had a pair of old glasses that she didn't mind wearing while I did some painting. Glasses are just cute. Girls look cute in glasses, okay? Maybe it's because of like years of like, you know, the shy uwu girl who crushes on the main character and has big old titties. In the shows that I watched growing up, they usually had glasses. So maybe that conditioned me, but I love a girl in glasses. Gokun, drinking or swallowing semen. Listen, group activities are fun, you know? Like, yeah, one-on-one is very romantic, but don't you just want to have fun with the whole gang? You know? Just get the whole gang together to have some fun. Just like, you know, a group bonding experience. But I'm just saying, if those were the kind of like bonding exercises they would do at work, I'd be a much more willing participant. All right, is Guro what I think it is? I think that's gore. Graphic mutilation of something organic. This might be my least favorite of them all. Meanwhile, Gaiara. I am learning so much today. I was like, I've seen like Village of the Long Gloves. That could be kind of appealing, but it's not really something to see. Oh, various fashion use to appear as Japanese as possible. Of artificial tan. Okay, I'm familiar with that. Honestly, no difference to me. Don't care about hair buds. Not a big fan of like them being drawn super hairy, but I do like a little hair. But also, listen, I'm not gonna be upset if, you know, if there's bush or armpit or something. Now, if the focus is on that, then we start having a problem. I'm not a big fan of armpit. Hand jobs can be fun, especially if it's like, you know, just it's being done because, like, you know, that's being a very impromptu thing, kind of in a situation where they can't go full on. Chat, please. I'm just a man. I am just a man, chat. I am a simple man with simple tastes, okay? Like, listen, y'all can't be surprised. I flirt with fucking everybody. I have that greed you read about in the Bible. I want it all. I need to just get myself a big old house out in the country and, like, bring all my bitches there, you know? You know? We can all just have one big cuddle pile. Hidden text, I do love the danger. So that is actually something I got really into when I was in my technical training. Because when we were in the dorms, we were not allowed to bring people of the opposite sex to our dorms. So I happened to start a relationship with a woman who was in my sister flight in basic training, and she happened to go to the same technical training as I did. And my phone is shutting down. You're on the charger. What do you mean you're shutting down? What do you mean you're shutting down? You were on the charger. Goddamn. Let's see, control. Control Shift 2. No, Control Shift F2. No, I think it's just charging from my computer wasn't fast enough. I should have been charging from an actual dedicated charger port, but I didn't have time to set all that up. I didn't have to get a new charger. I will have to deal with that some other time. God, I hope I can get this dealt with before fucking Sunday. I don't have money to go out and buying new shit. Hopefully a reset will fix my webcam. I'm hoping. All right, hordes. Peak, 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 peak. I love a good set of handlebars. Listen, I have a friend who's got some hordes that she says should be able to handle a bit of force. There are plans in place for when I visit her. So yeah, that's all I'm gonna say. Hordes are peak. I love them. Hot pants. What the fuck are hot pants? I've heard that term before. Shorts made to emphasize buttocks and the legs. Well, that sounds pretty good, actually. Oh, really? Short shorts? Oh. Yeah, that works. Huge. So, like, when did it start getting to huge? I do not like it. Like, for context, when I watched the first season of Dragon Maid, Miss Kobayashi's Dragon Maid, I watched the first season of that. I really liked Toru and the water dragon girl, but the one that everyone obsesses over, like the one Quetzalcoatl, too much for me. It's just too much. I also just don't like her because her entire existence is just to make a underage boy uncomfortable. But also I just didn't like her design. It was too much. Same with this. Like, there's a limit. There is a limit. I get it. It has to be within the realm of fantasy and used, but like humiliating someone who's in a more submissive element of the romance is I mean, listen. Partially played with the localizers. What do you mean? I didn't watch it like dubbed. I watched it subbed when it was like still coming out. Oh, aka Daisy Dukes. Oh, okay. You're talking about Daisy Duke things. Yeah, now that you talk about it, I'm gonna put it depends how it's executed. Because I could definitely think of a lot of ways where it just goes too far. And it's just deeply uncomfortable. But a bit of forced exhibitionism is pretty hot. I feel like I've made my opinion on this one known. Incomplete? When it says incomplete, does it mean like the work is incomplete or like they don't finish banging? Works that are not complete, particularly missing core context. Oh, no, I fucking hate that. I hate that. That fucking sucks. Like, why would you blue ball me like that? Inflation, hate it. I had to ban a lot of terms on Blue Sky because I follow a couple of furry VTubers, and their context is fine, but they would interact with like inflation stuff and like, ugh. Ensikai? Is it like Isekai? Sex involving in-laws, step, or adopted family members. I mean, at least they're not blood related, but still. Inverted nipples makes no difference to me. Josu Semi. What the hell is that? Crossdresser or top girl taking the lead, being dominant over a sexual partner. But that depends on how it's executed. I can see that being hot, but I can also see it being just really meh or even uncomfortable. God, we're getting a lot of words. I just do not. Wait, can it be, that's like people with like the animal traits, right? Like the ears and tails and maybe paws. Make sure I'm spelling this right. Humanoid that has animal ears and often a tail, but little to no. Yeah, I love that. Not like a huge furry. Like I could deal with furry, but like this I like. I don't know. I feel like animal traits could just be really like very selective animal traits could be really used to really accentuate. Like using like animal ears to like really accentuate emotion, or like tails to like, you know, show the character's feeling. Also tail pulling's also hot. Komodo. It can be hot, but I'm not like oh boy, Komodo, how hot. Like, I mean, usually I'm here for like, you know, the removal of clothing, you know. Listen, we love kissing. Well, it's all about the romance, you know. I'm big into kissing. I definitely kiss my partners a lot. Like, even when there is absolutely no romance, like when it is just 100% like, hey, we are just friends using each other for each other's bodies, I still like to shove my tongue down their throat. Kunoichi, isn't that the sidekick from part 4 of JoJo? Female ninja garment, typically dark robes. Ooh, actually, yeah, I like that. Listen, female ninjas are hot. I'll give you them that. I'll give them that. Female ninjas are hot. Two villains who kissing intimidation or something. That's also hot. See, kudere. Kudere is a Japanese term for a character who appears to not have emotions. Oh, like the image is literally 2B. Again, I like it when they show emotion, but kudere characters can be hot, especially if they do finally start showing emotion during the activities. A lab coat. Don't ask me to explain this. I don't understand it either, but I love a lab coat. Don't ask me to explain it. I don't understand it. Maybe it's just because I like women in STEM. We'll put lactation. It depends on how it's executed. I'm not typically into that. So because it usually goes along with like someone being infantilized. Latex. I don't know. Latex just looks really uncomfortable to me. Listen, chat, y'all know what I'm about. I don't think I need to explain this after everything else. y'all know what I'm about. I'm gonna Hail Mary and see if I get my webcam to work again. Do 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 do. Nope, still doesn't see my webcam. Fuck my life. Fuck my life, chat. All right, listen, peek. The only thing I like better than not pulling out is not being given the option to pull out. This is like when she is that desperate for it. You know, it's like, you know, it's just a really intense hug, you know? Because we're dual streaming on YouTube, it's just a really intense hug. Lingerie always looks nice. God, there is a lot more to this than I realized. Leotard, I can take it or leave it. Magical Girl, guess it depends on how it's executed, but makes no difference to me, really. We're gonna start speed running things. Males only, I'm sorry, I hate it. I know. Tragically though, I am just not into guys. Masks are good for, you know, what's the word I'm looking for? Infantilization? Not infantilization. God, no, not infantilization. Dehumanization. God. I've been bitching about infantilization with so many of these. The words just stuck in my head. Who the fuck is Miko? Miko me? Shrine maiden, young priest usually wear red trousers or logs. Like, so the outfit itself isn't super appealing, but this does kind of go into the whole corruption thing, so I am gonna put this in like it. I do love a good corruption arc. MILFs, DILFs, love it. Love it. Chat, we love older women. We love older women in this household. Military. I'd prefer not to have it. I've had enough of military in real life. I don't need it in my fantasies. Milking. This kind of, I'm not really a big fan of this. Kind of goes into like the infantilization. I have seen some things where it's like, oh, they're using a machine to do it, but like, I still don't like that. Now, mind break, on the other hand. Like, let me make sure I'm fully understanding what mind break is. Yeah, turning or turning someone to a mentally into a a love slave, typically through lengthy or rigorous romantic stimulation. Yeah, yeah. I'm not going to apologize, chat. Listen, the idea of like making someone just completely broken and addicted to you, and again, purely within the realm of fantasy, mind control is pretty good. Like, you know, like hypnosis and stuff like that, just taking complete control over someone. Again, not a big fan of male only. Well, here's the thing. If I had the ability to control minds in real life, I wouldn't want to use it on someone without their consent. But if someone consented to me using mind control on them in that context, I would be 110% into that. But with that, it comes down to a lot of like the RP stuff, like, you know, a lot of the more hardcore things like CNC type stuff, where it's like a lot of the appeal is the trust the person places into you, you know? Like, yeah, don't get me wrong, I love the control. I love the control. But I think what really makes it appealing in real life is the trust. Mosaic sister, stop censoring my goon. And stop fucking your family. Multi-series works. That could be nice. I like it. Really get attached to characters before you see them, before, after, and during you see them get railed. Muscle depends how it's executed. I've seen it done too much. I'm gonna put it pretty high, depending on how it's executed, because muscular women can be hot, or just like the fantasy of being a muscular guy. Nakadashi, Nakadashi, Nakidashi, Naiski. Nakadashi, if I remember correctly, Nakadashi. Yeah. Love juice lingering inside any orifice beside a mouth, usually including an external pool of that love. Adore it. Adore it. Actually, we're gonna do a little rearranging here real quick. So I'll put this other thing like puppy girl, but it's really more like animal woman, like dog traits. Nipple. I hate this. I hate this. Why? I hate this. I hate this. I think I might actually rather try going to works that are all dudes than watching someone try and fuck somebody's nipple. What the fuck? I can work with no penetration. Nose hooks, I've seen that just looks so uncomfortable. And like, yeah, no, I'll usually do, no, oh no, dumb daddy, you know, your pleasure doesn't matter, it's all about serving me. But I'll be entirely honest, that just looks so uncomfortable. I don't think I have ever seen a work with that and be like, oh man, that's hot. I don't know what the difference between Nito Rare and cheating is. Like, isn't that just what Nito Rare is? Well, I guess it could be like they okay. Actually, no. Because cheating is they have to be in a relationship. Nito Rare could just be like, oh well, you know, the guy is like going after the girl. They're like, you know, friends, and you know he's getting close with her, but then she fucks someone else. I guess that works. I love naughty nuns. Y'all have seen how I've been about Marie in the Warframe streams. I love myself a naughty nun. Well, give me a nun in fishnets. Oh. Instant gallons. Nurse, always a classic. Always a classic. A bit overdone at this point, but it's a classic. I like older, I don't like old. Make sure this is actually talking about the sex. Yeah. If I'm like, why would I? Why would I? I mean, I guess it's fine if like someone's using it on someone else, but like, listen, I'm here for the fantasy of fucking, not using an Ona hole. Now, I would use an Oni's hole on the other hand. Orcs, I do like orcs. Are Oni demon the same thing mostly? So we didn't say demon, typically talking like Western idea of demon, whereas Oni is a very Japanese specific that is kind of like a demon. It's usually considered like a Japanese demon or whatever, but they're their own thing. Orgasm denial, I'll be honest, that can be pretty hot. You know, forcefully edging someone like that. Oh, yuck. Oh, Yakadon. Sounds like something I would have ordered at Coco's Curry. A grouping of a parrot and one or more of their children. Oh! Okay, hold on. A group of a parent and one or more of their children engage in sexual activity with the same partner. So not with each other, with the same partner simultaneously. So this can't come off as really... This might come off with, as really hypocritical. I don't like the idea of incest. I have always found the idea of banging a mother and daughter at the same time really hot. So we're going to put on depends on how it's executed. If it is purely within the context of a mother and daughter hooking up with the same guy, especially the guy is like the POV character, that is really hot to me. Any other context of this arrangement does not work for me. But that one particular arrangement, divine. Is it hypocritical? Yes. Does it only work in fantasy? Yes. So that does work, even out of fantasy, though. We love a good tit fuck. I mean, tit romance. I mean, okay, yeah, no, this is gonna get. I'm probably gonna have to delete this font off of YouTube. YouTube is not gonna be happy with me on this one, I think. Pantyhose. I usually prefer like bare thigh or like thigh highs, but pantyhose could still be appealing in how it like accentuates the thighs. Parasite. That doesn't sound appealing at all. Parody. A lot of the best ones are parody. Because, like, when it says parody, within this context, usually like, oh, a fan-made thing of, like, this, you know, this series. Like, if you've ever, you know, read something of, like, two characters from an official work, you know, begging each other, being written by somebody else, that's parody. That's what that usually means in this context. Pasties. No difference to me. Pegging. Not really my cup of tea. Don't watch a movie that involved a parasite. Too much body horror. Alright. I feel like this is self-explanatory at this point. Piercings, no difference to me. I don't know, nipple piercings just look uncomfortable to me. What the fuck is wrong with people? Disgusting. Disgusting! Alright, I like ponytails if for no other reason than just it gives you something good to pull on. Okay, I'm gonna look up poor grammar because it can't just be a tag being, oh, these people don't know how to do English. A third-party translation can say, okay. Okay, so this is literally just a tag for indicating that the translation is very poor. Yeah, we're gonna put that in hate. Possession, hot. Like, I feel like that kind of goes into mind control, but typically the idea, though, isn't that they are under the... I mean, I guess it kind of depends on how it's being used. It was like you're possessing them and then using them for things. That's how, if it's like someone else is possessing them. And I'll put it in hot and love it. It depends on how it's being done. Pregnant. I do not like this. So, like, I like the initial creation process, like the mixing, the initial mixing of the ingredients. And then I like when you see them happy with the final result. The actual baking process, I don't want to be a part of. Now, I will say, okay, so pregnant within the context of, like, during the actual activities, I do not like. Pregnant as a result of the activities afterwards, I do like. But this is particularly about romantic activities during. So yeah, I do not like this. Save that for the epilogue. I don't even want to talk about this one. Not my cup of tea. I couldn't even handle getting checked for hemorrhoids when I got out of the military. Like, the VA lady from the VA stuck a finger up there as part of my medical exam. Was not a fan of that whatsoever. Like, I understand, like, a lot of people are really into this, and I can see, I've definitely seen, like, arts where it's, like, it's portrayed in a very alluring way, but overall, I'm not really a fan. Listen, we love degradation. This is a prostate exam, Mr. Griffin. Yes, this is how a prostate exam is performed. Oh, man, I have mixed feelings on that episode, but I definitely thought it was hilarious when I saw it as a kid. Rando, what is that, like hooking up with a rando? A backpack made from leather or leather-like. Oh, no. A backpack made from leather or leather-like synthetic materials was commonly used by elementary school children. Again, I hate anything that is like infantilization. I feel like this is gonna be like the cut between the things I don't like because they're a little weird or just not to my tastes, or I find them a little bit infantilization, versus the things I don't like because they are gross or are just straight up pedophilia. I feel like if I say this word while I'm dual streaming onto YouTube, my entire channel is going to get nuked. I'm going to put this in the depends on how it is executed section. The closer you are to like being realistic with it, the worse it is. And let's be honest, these off-brand romance mangas have dubious consent most of the time anyway. But if you go with the, like, you know, force the situation until she likes it, and it is like very much like, yeah, this is obviously fantasy, not realistic at all. We're just playing into like the power fantasy. Then that is great. Funnily enough, I feel like my boundaries for what I like with this sort of thing is more strict with when it is in manga versus when I am doing it with a partner. Because with a partner, when we're playing that, like again, there's that element of trust. So I could push it a lot further because that trust element is there. That's not there when it's a fictional piece of writing, you know? Unless the characters within the story are explicitly doing it in play. In which case, you can take it really far, so long as I'm aware, as long as the reader is aware already, these characters are actually already consent. You know, they're just playing like they don't. In which case, that could be really nice. Rim job, I've never really seen the appeal of this. I don't know. What the hell is a rim job? Oral stimulating of an anus to cause sexual arousal. Like, I've done that to partners. Like, I like ass, and if a partner wants that, I will do it, so long as obviously they clean, but like, I guess I'll put it depends on how it's executed. I will put it prefer. This is something that like I could deal with, but usually I don't ever usually see this when it's like the guy doing it to a girl. It's usually like a girl doing it to a guy for some reason. Robot. You know, I really should hit up my friend Corey more often. Well, I got a phone call coming in. All right, terribly sorry about that. My brother did not realize I was streaming and he called me about something dumb. Anyway, where were we? Yeah, I need to hit up Corey for more art soon. But yeah, we like robot girls. Like, I mean, I guess you could say because like 2B is peak. But the things that make 2B peak aren't really because she's a robot, other than, I guess, again, the whole lack of needing to breathe. Alright, what the hell is Rayona? Hey, Rayona! True, there is the stamina. But you see, so I feel like that's more appealing to people who are like, to female or people who are, typically bottoming. Whereas, from my point of view, I usually prefer to wear them out. Alright, so Rayona is basically beating someone, but not to the point of torture. Yeah, I'm not really a fan. Like, I like to leave bite marks and scratch marks and the like, but that's about the limit. Or like, you know, like I like to leave marks. I don't like to beat the shit out of someone. I know that's breaking some of y'all's heart. I definitely know there's a few people in the community that like the idea of getting beaten up, but I mean, I guess I'd be willing to try it with a partner who, you know, trusts me. But it would definitely be eased into it. Saliva, I like to make them a mess. I like to make a mess. That's all I'm gonna say. Scars, makes no difference to me. I presume this isn't the creation of making a scar, just them having a scar. What was it? How do I put this? I like it when I remove my love from their mouth and they are a drooling mess from it. Especially if it leaves a trail. What the fuck is wrong with people? 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 School uniform. So here's the thing. When I was younger, I actually really did like, you know, the Japanese schoolgirl uniform or the Catholic schoolgirl uniform. The older and older I get, the less and less appealing it is. Like, I know some people like to do that kind of roleplay stuff, and like the taboo element is of it in there. I'm just not really a big fan of the infantilization fantasies. Like, I prefer, and within fantasy, I feel like a lot of people who go for the infantilization are doing it for the same reason I go for the dehumanization. But I'm just not really a fan of the infantilizing. Secretary, nice. I feel like that kind of goes in a similar region as why I like the business suits on women, but also, you know, it's just a power dynamic, you know. All right, I am gonna take a quick break. Actually, I do need to. Mother Nature is calling. She has to have some words with me. Oh yeah, the hot secretary hotline parade look is great. But we are going to take a short break. We'll go ahead and run some ads while I'm doing it, and then we will be right back. And we are back on our regularly scheduled bullshit. How long have we been at this? We have been at this for 3 hours already. Just about 3 hours. Oh, we're actually pretty close to being done. All right, toys. All right, men. Men. This is for the men in the chat. Maybe a couple of lesbians. I feel like this is more of an issue with men. Men, I need you to listen to me. Hold on, let me change my page. Hold on. Mute the music. Mute the music. Cut out the chill ass groove. All right, men. Men, I need you to listen to me. All right, I need you to listen to me in the chat here. Sex toys are not your enemy. I repeat, sex toys are not your enemy. They are your ally. They are your friends, okay? If your girl wants you to use toys on her, that is not an insult to you, to your capabilities, to your masculinity, okay? If anything, that just shows she's really into you and she wants to give you more options, more control. She wants you to really take her over the moon. All right? Do not get upset if your girl uses toys on herself. Do not get upset if she wants you to bring toys into the bedroom. It is your ally. It is a friend, okay? Okay, do you understand me, men? Do you understand me? All the women in chat can attest, okay? All right, I'm glad we had this talk. Shibari, peak. Absolutely peak. I've never done it in real life because it's a lot of work, but it looks really good. I usually prefer the kind of stuff that is like the kind of bondage that actually like binds someone, restricts their movements and all that, but Shibari just looks really good. What was that? Shimedon? Sounds like a fucking Japanese name for a transformer. Shimedon. This is like something getting summoned in Final Fantasy. A group of siblings engaging in activities with the same partner simultaneously. All right. I'm putting this in the same idea. Listen, I feel like every guy in the chat has had that fantasy of hooking up with twin sisters. All right. Like, there is that taboo element of it, but it isn't quite in the realm of incest because the focus is on the other partner. Like I'm just gonna say, you know, those dog girl twins from Hololive, I've definitely seen some interesting art with the two of them. So Shima. Hold on. Shima Pantsu. Is that Shima Pod? Shima Pantsu meaning. Because this one isn't on the... is it on... I'm gonna guess it's Shimapon. Short for Shima Pantsu, meaning striped panties. Makes no difference to me. Shimodon, is that like when Otsupower hooks up with twin sisters? Yeah, basically, yeah. Like, listen, like, listen, the idea of hooking up with sisters, or like, I could also see like an interesting story of like a brother and sister hooking up with a girl, so long as their focus is not on each other but on the third partner. Shoda. I hate this slightly less than this, just because I feel like usually the fantasy is you are the Shoda, which makes it a little less horrible, but still horrible. Once again, stop fucking your family. As a wise weeb once said, get the fuck away from your sister. Slave. Again, we love absolute control. Especially like when they love it. Especially when they love it. When they love just being at your absolute mercy. Super romantic. Sleeping. I guess it comes down to how it's executed. This is weird. Because I've had partners who have been into the idea of like, you know, if I wake up in the mood and they're asleep, don't even bother waking them up, just go for it. And that's hot. I guess I'll have to put this in depend on how it's executed. Small, listen, chat. All booba is good booba. Except for the really huge ones. Small penis. It makes no difference to me so long as I don't like the focus. Fucking wash yourself. Clean yourself. What is wrong with y'all? Like, I get, like, it's usually like, oh, you know, the girl dealing with it, you know, the taboo, the whole thing of making, like, you know, degrading her, but still, it's just gross. It's just gross. All right, so when it comes to smell, that really comes to how it's executed. If it's like, oh man, they smell really good, then I like that. If it's like, oh man, they smell awful, I mean, it can kind of work if it's like, again, a degradation thing, taboo thing, but I have had partners who have like been really into my natural body odor. I have been threatened with violence to not take a shower while having girls over for extended periods of time. But it has to, it's usually like in the case of, oh man, they're really into the smell, whether it's like, oh, she smells good, or they're addicted to your musk or whatever. Smoking, I do not like this. Smoking is a disgusting habit. Like, I can deal with it, I guess. I guess I'll put in prefer not to have it. In real life, smoking is pretty close to a deal breaker for me. Like, I hate the smell of smoke. Like, smoking, like, always just messes up my sinuses. It gives me a horrible headache. It's disgusting. You taste awful afterwards. It's really unhealthy. Like, I get the appeal sometimes. Like, I have seen art where, like, a character smoking a cigarette is made to look, like, very sexy and alluring. It is a thing that only works in fantasy, though. There's something seriously wrong with people. Soul female, I like it. Soul male, I mean, I'm sorry, I don't like it. I think I'm gonna put the male only stuff in that I don't like it, because it doesn't. Because it doesn't, like, upset me, it's just not for me. These upset me. These, I do not like it. Yeah, so I'm gonna put them in that I don't like because it's just not for me. But I'm gonna put that like the things that just genuinely bother me. Now that oh man, listen, isn't it funny how like growing up, we all hated spankings, and now as adults, half of us are looking to spank someone, and half of us are looking to be spanked. This is probably going to surprise a lot of you. I don't particularly care for squirting. It's just pee. Like, I get, like, the appeal. Like, it's usually in fantasy portrayed as, like, oh, you know, it's... You know, you're making them feel so intensely good that, you know, they have, like, that physical response. But, like, that's not really how it works. And I can't, like, escape the mind's like, okay, congratulations, girl. You just pissed the bed. You go, queen. Like, I'm not gonna get upset if I have a partner who squirts and they squirt. Like, I understand if some people it does it, but I don't particularly care for it. It doesn't take me out of it, so long as they're not going full on pissing. But hold on, do we have thigh highs in here? We have thigh high boots. All right, so I'm putting stockings up high within the context of like thigh highs. But I like thigh high stockings. Thigh high boots I like, but I'm not as into boots as I am to the stockings. I think it's because the stockings are something where I could have, you know, keep them on during, whereas the boots I'm probably gonna want them off during most of the time if we're like getting fully into it. Stomach deformation. So this is a thing of it depends on how it's executed. If it is a light amount like this, when it goes with that monster stuff, if it is a light amount, I really like it. When it gets extreme, like it's really stretching it out, I hate it. Small amount of it though, divine. You know, it's like what's an ingredient that you only ever use a small amount of? Like, it's awful if you use a lot of it, but it's great if you use a small amount. And I guess, like, salt. Like, you know, a little bit of salt's great. A lot of salt and you're choking. Like, you can see the penis moving on the stomach. Yeah, like that. Or, like, and like a little. So, like, because this can happen in real life. Especially like, if the girl is really skinny and the guy's really big and you're angled just right. Like, I've seen it. Within the fantasy, I like it beyond the extent of what's realistic, but only by a bit. Like, I want it to be there just enough for you to notice, not for it to be, like, really over the top. Story arcs, I mean, I like to get invested, you know? I'm gonna put that in the multi-work story. I like to get invested. Strap on, depends on how it's executed. Girl on girl, into it. Girl on guy, Sumata, is that like a martial art? Sex using thighs to stimulate a penile object. All right, so I didn't know that's what that was called, but it's really nice in art and it's really nice in real life. I've done it before. It's a lot of fun. Sundress, peek, peek, peak, 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 peak. It's cute, it looks wholesome, but it gives ease of access. It's perfect for corruption. It's perfect for like, oh no, she's cute, but she's dirty. I love a sundress. Sundresses are amazing. Sunglasses, don't care. I like regular glasses, not sunglasses. Sweating, I do like it. I like, you know, the intensity to an extent. Swimsuit. So when they say swimsuit over bikini, I feel like they're talking about like the school swimsuits almost. But yeah, there are like, you know, instead of bikini, just like the full body swimsuit, like what athletes will usually wear. And I mean, those usually are pretty hot. So long as it's not being used to infantilize. So I'm gonna presume by swinging they mean like swingers, and not like a sex swing. Separate romantic relationship with A and B. B has sex with the party C. A is aware, consents to it. Maybe instigate, does not qualify. B is coerced. Okay. Yeah. I mean, I have participated in this IRL as in like the third party. And you know, yeah, no, I enjoy it. I'd say we'll put it like it. Particularly if it's like, I don't know, like there are certain setups, like if the POV character is the male who the female is swinging with or something like that, or I don't know, you know what I mean. Yep. Listen, having something extra to pull on is always peak, especially if it's a prehensile. Like, if they can, like, you know, use that tail to, like, you know, wrap around you or to, like, you know, manipulate things. Amazing. Tan lines usually look nice. I'll put that right around with cheerleader. Yeah, I think I'd have to say I like teacher stuff. I've definitely been hot for teacher a few times. Sorry, there's one that showed a tiefling girl wrapping her tail around a guy's dog. I've definitely seen quite a few of those, and those are great. I feel like I don't need to explain that one. There's just so much you could do with it. It's so versatile. Like, this is like the core of off-brand romance mangas for a reason, you know? Tiara, I mean, I guess that could be good for like, you know, oh, you know, putting her in her place, but all right. Tom girl / boy, tomboys are peak. Tomboys are fantastic. Like, she don't tend to go for because of the church. I was under the impression it was because pornography was banned in Japan during the occupation. But like the way it was worded is basically pee in vagina. So tentacles was a way to get around it. And there was already a cultural context for it because of the fisherman's wife. Yeah. But yeah, now I know a lot of you say, "Oh, Tomboy, you just want to have one of the guys that you can fuck." Yes. Listen, if my homies had rocket tits and thick pillowy thighs, I'd fuck them too. Torture. I could see this working in a kind of a hot way, but overall, I don't like it. Tracksuit makes no difference to me. Transformation, I can see that being interesting, depending on how it's done. Tribalism. My initial gut is to say I don't like it because it feels racist. Oh, wait. Hold on. Did I misread that? No, that's not tribalism. Tribedism. Sex involving women in rubbing their vulvas against each other. I know that's really not much of a thing in real life. It's more of just a thing for porn. But I can't deny that it's hot. I was gonna say, like, tribalism seems racist at first, but then I thought about goblin girls. But no, this isn't tribalism. I misread it. Tribadism. I definitely mispronouncing the hell out of that. Listen, sometimes you just have to make sure that the relationship is airtight, you know? You know? Absolutely airtight. So I'd say I like it. Not as much as I used to, but I like it. I definitely liked it more when I was younger. Tutor, makes a difference to me. Twins. Yeah, I can't deny it. The twin fantasy has been ingrained in me since I was young. Like, I don't know where this, like, whole thing of guys being like, yo, twins, came from. Like, that was such a thing culturally, I feel like, in the 90s, like, in sitcoms and stuff. I feel like Sister really played into that. Like, guys just finding the idea of twins really hot. But I have been conditioned. See, I'm torn on Twin Tails. Because on the one hand, handlebars. But on the other hand, I feel like Twin Tails are very infantilizing. And I don't like that. So I guess it depends on how it's being used. If it's being used to infantilize, I don't like it. And it's very hard to do Twin Tails without it coming off as infantilizing. Because, like, when it's such an immature hairstyle. But if you manage to make it work in a way that doesn't make the character come off as a child or trying to be a child, and you're just using it as handlebars, that's pretty hot. Now, chat. I know a lot of y'all are going to hate this. Mostly the guys. It seems like it's mostly guys that hate this. A lot of women are actually really into this tag. Like it's today. Oh, no. Like the hair. I kind of like ugly bastard fantasy. Like the whole degrading element, especially like when they hate the fact that they love it. I feel like a lot of the women in this community will be more like on board with that, because that definitely seems like it's usually the women that like the ugly bastard trope, whereas it's usually guys that complain about it. But I don't know. Like it's not enough for them to just be ugly, from what I understand. They have to actually also just be a bastard. I'm honestly surprised that tag did not come up in the wiki. If it's hentai subgenre, which old unattractive men have sex and sometimes force themselves. I like it when it's being used for like the degradation. I don't consider ugly bastard the guy is just ugly, but he's a nice guy. I don't like, again, it's the fantasy of like, you know, the degrading and all that. I'm not looking this one up for clarification. I'm just putting this straight into hate. game. We're moving on. Uncensored. Like, I'm not even gonna look it up for clarification. Be like, okay, maybe it's not what I think it is. I'm just not. I'm not. Stop fucking your family. You peek, 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 peek. Unusual pupils. Love it. Love it. Love it. Give me those weird ass eyes that stare into your soul. Weird colors, inhuman shapes. Like, there's just so much you can do, and I love it every time. I feel like I'm inexplicably just also like giving away some of the things that led to the design choices of my VTuber model. Ow! That's not fair. I can't even dodge. My webcam's not working. That just seems absolutely painful. Get fucked. I mean, that's kind of the idea here. Urination, also hate that. Ow. Okay, vanilla is okay. Vanilla's great. Like, I know a lot of times I go on about like the extreme stuff, but I do like vanilla, especially if it's sweet and loving. Again, I mean, I like defloweration, so kind of just the same deal. I guess we'll bring it down a little because, like, it could, just because it could be like in a bit of a different context. It's like Amanda Riker said, why not just plain old basic sex? I'm not even going to say these two. Voyeurism, I could, again, I feel like that kind of feeds into the exhibitionist a bit. Waitress, waiter, I'm surprised that has its own tag. Webtoon, I do not care if it is a webtoon so long as it is good for gooning too. Wholesome. We love wholesome. We also love very unwholesome, very degrading. But we also love wholesome. Widow makes no difference to me. Listen, ladies, if you're feeling lonely after your husband died, call me up. I'll help you out. Wings, not as much as tails, but I do love wings. Like, I feel like anything that gives you something more to just like grab onto or pull is automatically gonna be high tier. Chat, unironically, the witch hat stays on during sex. Or not, demon wings, same story. But yeah, unironically, chat, the giant witch hat stays on during sex. Wolf girls can be hot. I definitely liked a lot of the fan art I've seen of that one wolf girl from Hell of a Boss. But that might just be because she's goth. X-ray, depends on how it's executed. Yandere, I usually prefer not to have it. Yeah, Luna, her. Yaoi, I just don't like it. Again, I'm tragically straight. Like, honestly, it would be nice if I could be more of an omnivore, have more options, and also just, you know, lead more into flirting with absolutely everyone, but unfortunately, I have my limits. Yoga pants, listen, I feel like we all know how we feel about yoga pants at this point. especially when paired with big ass. And last but not least, Yuri is the purest form of love. Oh, no. It's just not for me. Well, chat, there we go. This is all the information you will find yourself needing. For when, you know, after hours this Valentine's at the tavern. Let me make sure I'm not about to just expose my computer name. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and save that, and we're gonna post it onto Blue Sky, and I think this is a good point for us to find someone to raid into, because what I had for breakfast was definitely not enough. I am starving. I hope y'all enjoyed stream today. I'm sorry if it was not as goofy as y'all were expecting. I feel like I came at this a lot more like serious and low energy than I was expecting. I'm not gonna lie.
No, everyone been knocked out. That is so funny. GB Games 242, hello.
Now let us find someone to raid into. Wow, not a whole lot. There's not a whole lot of people streaming today on Valentine's Day. Chat, am I a loser? All right, well, we normally well, we haven't raided into Bug Skipper in a long time. We're gonna raid into him. Yes, damn it, you don't have to agree, man. Just because you're right doesn't mean you have to say it. But yeah, we're gonna go ahead and raid into Bug Skipper. And we're gonna go ahead and call it a stream, because I am fucking starving. I had a lovely time with all of y'all, as always, and I look forward to seeing y'all here tomorrow. Same Bard time, same Bard channel, for when we finish Dispatch finally. I look forward to seeing you all then. But until then, ciao.